Welcome to another deep dive with us. We're tackling goal setting and achievement today, but not the usual stuff. We're going deeper.
Yeah, getting into a more effective way to approach goals. We've got some interesting sources for this one.
Definitely. Some unexpected ones, actually. Like we'll be drawing from the author's own life.
Right, and we'll also look at historical figures, psychological studies.
And there's even a tie-in to The Lord of the Rings.
This deep dive is all about helping you design your best year ever. And to do that, we need to understand what actually works when it comes to goals.
So where do we even begin with all this?
Well, the author starts with a story about his dog, Nelson, and an invisible fence.
Okay, I'm listening.
Nelson kept escaping, so they put up an invisible fence to keep him in. But get this. After a while, they took the collar off. Nelson still wouldn't cross the boundary. It was like the fence had moved from the outside to the inside.
Wow. So it's like he believed the fence was still there, even though it wasn't?
Exactly. It's a perfect illustration of how our beliefs shape our reality.
So if we believe something is impossible, we act accordingly.
Exactly. And this is the idea of self-fulfilling prophecies. You see it everywhere, from sports
To like scientific breakthroughs.
Right. Remember when people thought breaking the sound barrier was impossible, or running a mile in under 4 minutes?
Those things only became possible when someone dared to believe.
It all comes back to belief. What we believe is possible becomes possible. What we believe is impossible, well, it becomes impossible.
And this isn't just some feel-good philosophy. This is backed by psychology and real-world examples.
So it's really important then what we choose to believe.
It is. The author then talks about two different mindsets: scarcity thinking and abundance thinking.
And this isn't just about money or possessions, right? It's a whole approach to life.
You got it.
Yeah.
He uses two guys as examples, Charlie and Robert.
Okay, so Charlie's a scarcity thinker. He always feels like there's not enough.
Right, so he hoards resources and doesn't trust people.
And Robert.
Robert's the abundance thinker.
Yeah.
He believes there's enough for everyone.
So how do their lives turn out? Well, Charlie lives in a constant state of struggle, always worried about what he has.
That sounds stressful.
It is. But Robert, he experiences incredible success, builds strong relationships, and attracts amazing opportunities.
So their outcomes reflect their mindsets.
Exactly. It's not about luck or circumstances. It's all about our mindset.
A scarcity mindset keeps us playing small.
While an abundance mindset opens up possibilities.
So the question is, how do we identify and change these limiting beliefs?
The author has a 5-step process for that.
Right, lay it on me. What's step one?
It starts with awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking something negative or limiting, write it down.
So we need to become aware of those invisible fences in our minds.
Exactly. Next, you evaluate the belief. Is it empowering or limiting?
And if it's limiting?
Challenge it. Ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence do I have for this?
This reminds me of breaking the sound barrier. People thought it was physically impossible, but once that belief was challenged,
The possible became possible.
so we can reject false beliefs and reframe those that have some truth.
Like if you think, I'm too old to start a new career, reframe it as, my experience is valuable.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've recognized the belief challenged it, and reframed it. What's the last step?
Replace the limiting belief with a liberating truth, a belief that empowers you and supports your goals.
So we're not just getting rid of the old belief, we're actively replacing it with something positive.
And then you have to act as if the new belief is already true.
It's about aligning our thoughts, beliefs, and actions.
Now let's switch gears a bit. Let's talk about completing the past.
Because we all have baggage from past experiences.
We do, and how we handle that baggage makes all the difference.
The author uses Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite as an example. He's always stuck in his high school football glory days.
Blaming everyone else for his current situation.
It's funny, but it makes a serious point. Dwelling on past regrets can sabotage our future.
Exactly. We've all had times when we let the past hold us back.
But the key is to use those experiences as stepping stones for growth.
And for that, he presents the after-action review, a 4-stage process.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's stage one?
Reflect. Think back over the past year. Consider all areas of your life: career, relationships, health, finances, personal growth. What did you want to happen?
So we're taking stock of where we've been and what we've learned.
Then acknowledge what actually happened. What went well, what didn't. Be objective about your successes and failures.
So we're moving from reflection to assessment. What's next?
The learning stage. Ask yourself, what can I learn from both my successes and my failures? What worked and what didn't, and why?
It's about finding those valuable insights.
And finally, reframe your experiences. Shift your perspective from "I failed" to "I learned something."
That's so important. It's about turning disappointments into opportunities.
Using the past to propel you forward, not hold you back.
This leads perfectly into a discussion of regret and gratitude.
Two seemingly opposite emotions that actually play crucial roles in achieving our goals.
Really? How so?
Well, research shows that regret can be a powerful motivator.
Interesting. I mean, like when we feel regret, it highlights areas where we can grow.
Exactly. It's like our internal compass pointing us towards improvement.
And what about gratitude?
Gratitude boosts our motivation and resilience. The author talks about Coach K, the Duke basketball coach.
Oh, yeah, legendary coach. What did he do?
Before a big tournament, he had his players write down the names of people they were grateful for on a basketball.
That's kind of cool. I bet that had a big impact on them.
It did. It created a sense of connection, support, and purpose. And the research shows gratitude does all sorts of good things.
Like what?
It improves patience, fosters connections, enhances problem-solving skills, and boosts overall well-being.
Wow. So cultivating gratitude seems like a smart move.
Absolutely. Simple practices can make a difference, like starting and ending your day with gratitude, expressing thanks, keeping a gratitude journal.
It's about shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have.
Now let's talk goal setting. You've probably heard of SMART goals.
Oh, yeah. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound.
Right. But the author takes it further. He introduces smarter goals.
Okay, I'm all ears. What makes a goal smarter?
They're also exciting and risky.
Ooh, I like that. Exciting means they're truly motivating, and risky means they push us outside our comfort zones.
If a goal doesn't feel a little bit scary, it's probably not challenging you enough.
He talks about the comfort zone, the discomfort zone, and the delusional zone.
Goals in our comfort zone are too easy. Delusional zone goals are unrealistic. The sweet spot is the discomfort zone.
That's where we grow and achieve breakthrough results.
Now let's talk about different types of goals. The author distinguishes between achievement goals and habit goals.
That's interesting. Can you explain?
Achievement goals are focused on specific outcomes, like launching a product, running a marathon, writing a book.
Okay. And habit goals?
Habit goals are about establishing patterns of behavior, exercising, daily meditating, making sales calls.
So achievement goals are about reaching a destination, and habit goals are about building systems.
Exactly, and you need a good mix of both.
The author also emphasizes the importance of finding your why for each goal.
This is about connecting emotionally with your motivations. It's not just knowing what you want, it's feeling why it's important.
He tells a story about writing his book, Platform. He almost gave up, but by revisiting his motivations, he found his passion again.
When we hit obstacles, connecting with our why keeps us going.
How do we find our why for each goal?
Write down your top 3 motivations for each goal and rank them. Visualize achieving the goal and connect with the feelings.
This brings us to another interesting point, the power of peers and something he calls activation triggers.
He uses the example of Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. They were part of a writing group called the Inklings.
The support they gave each other was crucial to their success.
It shows how the right peer group can make a huge difference.
But it's not about sharing your goals with just anyone.
It's about finding your tribe, people who believe in you, challenge you, and celebrate with you.
What about these activation triggers?
They're like pre-planned cues that trigger the desired behavior. Makes it easier to follow through on your goals.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Let's say your goal is to exercise every morning. An activation trigger could be setting out your workout clothes the night before.
So it's about making it easier to get started.
Exactly. He gives a 4-phase process for creating these triggers.
Break it down for me.
First, identify a trigger that cues the action. Then optimize it. Make it effortless.
Okay. What's next?
Anticipate obstacles and plan how to overcome them. Like if you hit the snooze button, move your alarm across the room.
That's a good one. And finally,
experiment and fine-tune the trigger until it works consistently.
So it's about making it as easy as possible to take action and build those habits.
Exactly. Now, we've talked about belief, complete in the past, gratitude, goals, why, peer support, and triggers.
Where do we go from here?
Next, we'll talk about the final piece, taking action and staying accountable. We've explored a lot so far. The power of belief, the importance of gratitude, setting smarter goals, finding your why, and utilizing peer support and activation triggers. But all this is meaningless without action. This is where we bridge the gap between intention and results.
Makes sense. We can have the best intentions, but without consistent action, our goals just stay as goals. So how do we make sure we follow through?
Well, the author uses a story about General Jimmy Doolittle to illustrate this.
Sorry?
He was a pioneering aviator the first to fly across the U.S. in under 24 hours. Part of his success was due to a new instrument he used, a turn and bank indicator.
Interesting. How did that help him?
It allowed him to fly safely even in bad conditions, like darkness and storms.
So just like Doolittle needed the right instruments to navigate tough situations.
We need systems and tools to stay on track with our goals.
Yeah.
That's where the idea of reviews comes in.
Reviews.
Yeah. The author recommends 3 levels: daily, weekly, and quarterly.
Okay, let's break that down. What does each level involve?
The daily review is about staying focused. Each morning, review your goals and decide what actions you can take that day to move closer to them.
It's like a mini planning session.
Right. Then the weekly review is about taking a step back. Did you achieve what you planned for the week? Are you on track with your long-term goals? If not, what needs to change? It's also a good time to reconnect with your why.
So we're checking our progress and making sure our goals still feel right.
Exactly. Then the quarterly review is a deeper dive. Reflect on the past 3 months. What progress have you made? Are there any patterns? Do any goals need revising?
It sounds like a chance to step back, assess, and plan for the next quarter. But these reviews are only helpful if we actually act on what we learn.
Absolutely. The author contrasts 2 Civil War generals to make this point, McClellan and Patton.
Okay, I'm familiar with those names, but remind me about their approaches.
McClellan had a strong army, but he was hesitant, always overthinking things and missing opportunities.
A great planner, but not so good at execution.
Exactly. Now, Patton was known for his boldness. He was all about action, pushing forward, and achieving victory.
So it's not enough to just plan. We need to act decisively.
Even when things are tough, even when we feel afraid or uncertain, we can't let fear paralyze us.
What about when we hit a wall and feel stuck? It happens to all of us.
It does. And when it does, the author suggests seeking outside help.
You mean like a mentor or a coach?
Yeah. Someone who's been there before. They can offer support, accountability, and a fresh perspective.
That can be so valuable. Speaking of new perspectives, what about when new opportunities come up? How do we decide which ones to pursue?
That's where LAP goals come in.
LAP goals, what's that all about?
LAP stands for limited, exciting, actionable, and purposeful.
Okay, I like the sound of that. Break it down for me. What does each part mean?
Limited means making sure the opportunity fits with your overall goals and doesn't overwhelm you.
So we're not biting off more than we can chew.
Right. Exciting means the opportunity truly energizes you. It should be something you're passionate about.
Something that lights you up.
Then actionable means there's a clear path forward. You have specific steps you can take.
So you're not just stuck in the idea phase, you have a plan.
And lastly, purposeful means the opportunity connects to a larger meaning or mission, something that gives you a sense of purpose.
I love that. So using the LAP framework helps us make smarter decisions about where we focus our time and energy.
It's about choosing opportunities that are not only achievable, but also meaningful and aligned with your bigger aspirations. Now, along with the LAP framework, the author introduces another interesting concept, the 10X rule.
10X rule, that sounds intense. What's that all about?
It suggests that we should set targets 10 times bigger than what we think is possible.
Wow, and then?
Take 10 times the action to reach them. It's about thinking bigger, working harder, and tapping into our full potential.
Even if we don't hit that 10X target, we'll still achieve more than we would have otherwise.
Exactly. It's about pushing our limits and seeing what we're truly capable of. And it's not just about setting big goals. It's about taking massive action.
No excuses, right?
Exactly. Taking ownership and committing to doing whatever it takes to achieve those goals.
But what about when setbacks happen? Because let's face it, they're inevitable.
They are.
But the key is to view setbacks as learning opportunities. Adjust your approach as needed and keep moving forward.
It's all about resilience and adaptability.
Now let's talk about accountability and feedback.
Yeah,
They're essential for success.
I agree. Accountability keeps us on track, and feedback helps us improve our strategies. How do we build accountability into our goal pursuit?
Find a system that works for you. Maybe regular check-ins with a mentor coach or peer group. Share your goals, track your progress, and be open to their guidance.
Having that support system can make a huge difference.
And don't forget to be open to feedback. Even when it's not easy to hear, use it as an opportunity to learn and grow.
It's about constantly striving to improve. This has been such an insightful discussion on goal setting and achievement.
It really has. We've explored so many key elements that can truly make a difference in how we approach and achieve our goals. Wow, it feels like we've really been given a powerful toolkit for not just setting goals, but actually achieving them. What's the most valuable takeaway for you from all this?
I think it's the focus on mindset. You can't just set goals and hope for the best. You need the right mindset to support your success.
Yeah. A mindset based on abundance, gratitude, and resilience.
Exactly.
And the author gives us a practical way to identify and change those limiting beliefs that hold us back. Remember Nelson and the invisible fence.
Right. We have to become aware of our own invisible fences, those beliefs that are limiting our potential.
And once we've found them, we can challenge them, reframe them, and replace them with something empowering.
It's like rewiring our brains for success.
And it's important to remember that achieving goals isn't just about willpower or motivation.
Right.
It's about having the right systems and structures in place, like the daily, weekly, and quarterly reviews.
Those reviews are so important. They give us the visibility and accountability we need to stay on track. And let's not forget about the power of peer support.
Definitely. The story of Tolkien and Lewis shows how crucial it is to have people around you who believe in you.
People who challenge you and celebrate with you.
Whether it's a mentor, a coach, a group, or just some close friends, that support system makes all the difference.
It's about creating a community that helps you grow, holds you accountable, and encourages you along the way. And when you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed,
It happens to the best of us.
don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes you need a fresh perspective or a new approach.
There's no shame in getting help. In fact, it's usually the smartest move. The distinction between achievement goals and habit goals was really insightful, too.
It is. It's about understanding that different goals need different strategies. Achievement goals are about reaching specific milestones, while habit goals are about building consistent behaviors.
We need both for a fulfilling life.
Exactly. And when you come across new opportunities, the LAP framework is a great way to evaluate them.
Making sure those opportunities are limited, exciting, actionable, and purposeful.
Choosing wisely and putting your energy where it matters most. And for those who tend to play it safe,
Like me.
the 10X rule is a powerful concept. It's a reminder that we can achieve much more than we think.
It's about pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zones and setting those big, audacious goals.
And then taking massive action to make them happen. Designing a life that truly excites you.
As we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
Designing your best year ever starts with believing in yourself and being committed to taking action. You can create the life you want, but it takes effort, persistence, and a willingness to learn and grow.
And remember, you don't have to go it alone. Find your tribe, your support system, and celebrate those wins along the way.
Don't forget to check out the show notes for links to some of the resources we mentioned today, like the Life Score Assessment, the 5 B's to Your Best Year Ever course, and the Free to Focus Productivity course.
They're great tools to help you get started on designing your best year ever. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.